Hi everyone, my name is Courtney and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over my 2023 wrap up as well as my 2024 goals. This year, it was another weird one. I keep saying this every year. Every year I'm like, this is a weird year. This is a transition year. This was not a good year. And I'm just starting to think that this is what adulthood is. It's just not great, you know? Yay. But yes, hello, this was another weird year. The weird one being I finally got a job and I am so freaking tired all the time. I have no energy to do anything. And Good Omens became my outlet for happiness after July. And everything in my booktube life, everything in my life just kind of fell off the radar because, hey, I had this new thing to fixate on and enjoy. So yeah, that's been the year since I updated. So let's now go over my goals that I did not do great on because of that. Yay. So my first goal of every year is to read 50 books and then 100 books. I did that. I actually read the most books that I have this year. My other goal was to read books on my TBR. This is a picture of the books that I wanted to read this year. So basically, I did not finish the 2020 sci-fi fantasy anthology. Yeah, that's not surprising to me. I also did not finish Reign of Gold. I was hoping to get this from the library. I actually tried a couple times and it's not in the library anymore and I can't buy it, so I'm gonna have to buy an audiobook of this if I want to read it as an audiobook, which I do because I'm that person now. But as far as everything else on my TBR, I was able to finish it, most notably Priory of the Orange Tree and Babel, which yes, good job me. And I actually did read Babel physically, which I kind of hinted at wanting to do. I did not read Priory of the Orange Tree physically. Well, I read some of it physically, but I did read Babel physically, which I think is just great for me. But yeah, as far as my TBR goes, I read everything that I bought in 2022. I read everything that I bought in 2022. The other stuff that I didn't read is like backlog stuff that I've had for a while, so it's not really surprising I didn't get to it. Basically, besides those books that I always kind of have in backlog, all that I have left to read is stuff that I bought in 2023. But the other big thing that I am always trying to do in my reading goals is to keep up with my series. So I kept up with the Wayward series by reading the 8th book. I kept up with the Atlas 6 series by reading the Atlas Paradox, which was also one of my TBR books. And then as far as series that I finished the Darius the Great duology by reading the 2nd book, and I finished the Robin Hobb's Assassin's Quest series, the Fitz trilogy, like the first one, by reading the 2nd and 3rd book, or maybe it was just the 3rd one I had to read, but I finished it. And then I also started some series and finished them this year, so I don't have to worry about them for next year. That would be the Delilah Green Bright Falls series, as well as the Poison Heart duology, and the Half a Soul series. So I started those and read them this year. But there are some other books that I didn't get to, that I didn't keep up with, that I wish I would have. Those most notably being the Singing Hill series. I read the 3rd book this year, but there is also the 4th book out already, and I want to read that. The big one is She Who Became the Sun. I did not read He Who Drowned the World this year. I really wish I would have. One of my top things that I want to read next year for sure. And besides that, I didn't read the Earthsea series at all this year, and I didn't finish out Kami-sama Kiss or Haikyuu, which were kind of big series that I wanted to read and collect this year. The most notably being Kami-sama Kiss, because I really did want to finish that out this year since I own all the volumes, but I was really struggling through it. And besides that, the other series that I am in the middle of reading, I'm just waiting for them to be updated. Like, I'm waiting for Gideon the Ninth to come out. I'm waiting for Children of Blood and Bone to come out, kind of. Not really. I'm waiting for Fevered Star to come out. I'm waiting for Bloodmarked. Kind of, not really. I'm waiting for the Akata Witch series. Hopefully it'll be the final book because I really want to see that conclusion for that story. Iron Widow, waiting for the 2nd book to come out of that. And then the Axiom and the next book in that is coming out next year, so I want to read that as well when it comes out. But mostly, it's just waiting around right now. And then notably, here are some of the series I started that I don't know if I'm gonna finish. So I read the 1st book in the Empire of Sands duology. I'm personally more interested in the author's 2nd series that is still coming out right now, but this is a companion series, so I don't feel the need to read the 2nd book. The 2nd book is following a different character and it's kind of her story. Like, I'm interested in reading it because I did enjoy Empire of Sand, but like, it's not my main importance right now, and I'm kind of okay just like not finishing the series just because it's pretty much a standalone book. Empire of Sand is pretty much its own thing. And then the other one that I'm not as interested in finishing is A Winter's Promise. There are 4 books in this series. I read the first one for a reading vlog. I kind of didn't enjoy it, but I'm a completionist. I want to finish the series, and so it's it's in the back of my mind, basically. So the next goal of mine was to read 30 adult fantasy novels. I read 23 this year, which pretty good number, especially because some of the ones I read were really, really big. And then I also read 23, same number, really weird, but I read 23 adult fantasy mangas. So if you add that together, you know, there's a, what is that, 46? So most of my reading was adult, even with the manga included, which I'm pretty impressed by. And then my other goal was to not read as much audiobooks. This is surprising. So I looked at the number of hours listened to last year versus this year. I technically read less hours somehow, but also like this is not a goal of mine anymore. I talked about this in my check-in mid-year, and like at work, this is just something that I need to function at work. I need like something to listen to. I'm not really finding the problem that I was having with audiobooks last year, maybe because I am so focused on a specific task. I don't know. I know what kind of books I can read as audiobooks and which ones don't really work for me, and I've just kind of accepted audiobooks. I've never dissed on audiobooks. I've never thought that they were less than other reading styles. It's just I wanted to be more physically connected to books. But if this is how I'm getting through the day, I don't really care that much. And then as far as channel goals, I wanted to work on reviews. That was bad. That was really bad. No, I didn't do that. I just have such a hard time getting myself to do reviews, and I don't know why. I think it's just because I think that my opinion on books is not needed, or I don't feel like I have an opinion at the time. But it is something that I want on my channel just because I wouldn't say it's easy content, but it's like the kind of content that I can make easily always does relatively well on my channel over a long period of time, and it doesn't take time to like research, procure, and film, which at this point in my life, I am just, again, I'm not busy outside of work, but like I'm just so tired from work, I don't have the energy, so making reviews seems like the most natural way to actually continue doing this channel, because otherwise I just don't see myself making content, at least right now. But the other thing that I wanted to work on was my fun videos, my research videos, and that's what I did. I did my seasonal reading videos, I did some other fun videos, and it worked out. I got to do them. Maybe not the best at vlogging, but I think that those videos came out really well, and I was excited by the content. I really enjoyed the content, but it did burn me out significantly. And that's my 2024 goals. I'm tired. I'm burnt out. I am just emotionally exhausted from living, not just from making content, but yeah, I do feel a little bit of a dry spell right now, but also I'm just tired. I want to do more videos, I want to do more reviews, I want to be on TikTok and Instagram, but I'm having such a hard time getting myself to do anything because I just feel so drained that like I just need to find a sustainable way for me to create content if that is something that I want to continue to do. And I kind of do right now. Like I want to do all those things. I like doing those things, but it's just hard to get myself to do any of those things. So my goal for this year is like to vibe, it's to relax, because I want to enjoy books again. Like, not that I didn't enjoy things, but I really felt a dry spell for reading. Like I would enjoy it while I was reading it, and then I would just like be numb to it afterwards, not think about it. And I really, really want to just really obsessed with something again, outside of Good Omens. Like outside of a TV show, I want to be obsessed with a book I'm reading again. And I feel the same with writing. I did a lot of writing this year, but like it's all like scrap writing. It's all writing that I want to overhaul basically. Every time I sit down to actually do writing, I enjoy it. It's just like afterward, I'm just like, I can't get it to go forward. So that's another thing. And it's like, do I want to spend my time on writing, or do I want to spend my time on reading and doing content? I don't have enough time to split between all these things, and I think that's a hard realization. So basically, what I have for goals: read 50 books, as always, read my physical TBR, eventually maybe come up with some goals for myself, some aspirations. I feel like I'm still in limbo, and I hate it. It's not that I don't like my life right now. It's, financially ish stable. I don't know, I just feel like everybody goes at their own pace in life, and I just feel like I'm behind because I missed so much of my life because of COVID, Like I was in an apartment alone for 3 years pretty much doing my graduate program, and half of that time was for COVID. And then the next year I was in New York in an apartment alone trying to get a job, not getting a job, and I feel like I am a step back in life, or at least just like what I want from life. So I want to figure out some like actual tangible goals to strive for. I'm still thinking about stuff. Always just thinking about it and not doing, but that's life. Before we leave, let us look at my physical TBR for the year. So what do I have on my TBR this year? The first 3 things I have are, of course, manga. I have 4 volumes of Haikyuu. Potentially, I want to read the entire series this year. I don't know when the movie's coming out, maybe this year, maybe next year, but I want to read the entire series before the movies come out. Again, Kami-sama Kiss is here. I read to volume 13-ish, and so I still have another like 10, 11 volumes to read, so I would like to finish this year. And then I have 1 volume of Yona the Dawn, but like, I want to keep up with my series. I'm reading Yona, I'm reading Skip Beat still, I'm reading Apothecary Diaries, and I'm reading Witch Hat Altair. Those are like my big continuing series, so those are things I want to stay on top of. But now let's look at the books. The first one is the one that I'm currently reading. I'm halfway through this. This is Season of Love, so it's part of my Christmas reading, so I'm gonna finish out this hopefully on Monday while I'm at work. But now let's look at, yeah, these guys. They're still here. Reign of Gold and Sci-Fi Fantasy of 2020. These are the ones that I've had on my TBR for a while, as well as Sherlock Holmes, which I sometimes will read like a story or 2 here or there, and I love Sherlock Holmes every time I read it, but you know, it's more of a life goal to eventually finish all the Sherlock Holmes stuff. Whereas this I would like to happen this year. And then as far as stuff that I bought in 2023 that I want to read in 2024 and not have on my TBR next year, I have these books. I have Chain Gang All-Stars, which I would definitely like to read this year. Don't want to wait any longer on that. And then I have Second Rebel, the second book in the First Sister trilogy. I have a book that I'm using for my own personal research, but I would like to read it. And then I have Chalice of the Gods, the first book in the new Percy Jackson trilogy, and then Beyond the Black Door, which is a YA novel that I got for Pride Month that I didn't read. So like, it's not a ton, pretty reasonable. But yeah, those are kind of my goals for 2024. Figure stuff out, figure out a plan, put it into action, make those not sound super vague, read my series, read my TBR, be able to be free to read other books that I have on my digital TBR that I've been wanting to read for a very, very long time. Those are my plans for 2024 as well as my 2023 wrap up. Let me know how you did this year with your reading plans, what you're looking forward to in the future for your reading, and let me know if you have some good concrete goals for 2024 because I need to steal some. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later, and happy reading.